So there are
some definite downsides to this.
some design flaws.
Hey everyone out there in YouTube land, I am Barry Lovewhistle.
And I'm the JP.
And today we're going to be going back to some rocket fuel. We're actually going to be building rockets today. So for starters, we're going to remake our rocket fuel and test ignition with my homemade electric matches. Then after we've done that, we are going to build some rockets out of some DIY materials we have, basically just trying to save ourselves a bunch of money from having to continually buy pre-made rockets. So first we've got the C6 engine we lit off last time.
Right,
then
reusing that.
Then we're going to try an Expo marker as a rocket motor for some details that we'll discuss later once we get to that part of the test. And then we've got a couple of cardboard tubes, medium and jumbo. And then for control, we've still got a couple of Estes motors to just show how ours compare to those.
Part of the goal of today is going to be applying these rockets to some sort of vehicle to where we can measure the thrust, at least qualitatively.
Qualitatively is the key. All right, so this is powdered candy rocket fuel properly mixed in a pile with an electric match underneath it.
3, 2, 1. Not bad. Good work.
We've been getting some feedback about, first of all, poor safety practices. So, we are idiots. It's in the title of the video. But because we are starting to accumulate lots of DIY pyrotechnic stuff, we are now storing our ingredients in color-coded containers. Fuels in the red, oxidizers in the yellow.
We put all our fuels in one bucket.
Also, thanks to Etsy, my wife discovered a really convenient way to both mix and pour any sort of powder. So anything that you need to mix, store, is safe to store in a glass jar and needs to be poured. We have the top off of a salt pourer that just fits right into the top of a mason jar, a wide mouth mason jar. So we can just grind, pour our ingredients into this, shake it up, and pour this directly into
our makeshift rockets.
All right, so we're at the next phase of rocket testing, which normally, if you were a real scientist, you would use something called a rocket sled. You see this on a lot of other YouTubers' channels. It's really just a long track. It's a train track with a rocket on it. But we don't own any land, and we can't set up a rocket sled. So figure the next best thing, another low friction environment that is pretty controllable, is just water. So we've got this drainage ditch here. So instead of having a rocket sled, we have a rocket boat. So this is just styrofoam cut really crudely into a boat. We're just going to set it in the water, attach rockets to it, and see where it goes. We're going to set this up, and we'll be back once we've done that. Armed and igniting in 3, 2, 1. It's a good thing we did the little one first.
All right, so the smallest rocket motor we had propelled this boat at an uncontrollable rate. So it was, as usual, since everything that we do is more effective than we expect it to be, we need to come up with a way of adding weight to this. All right, so first idea that we had, very first idea, was just to basically put a bunch of screws in it, styrofoam. So we hammered a bunch of screws into it and added some lead fishing weights, which hopefully aren't going to come out.
No, that'd be fine.
Put some tape over the top of it. So it is a little bit over twice the weight that it was earlier, which I think it means it is perfect time to bump up to the next size in rocket motor, the C6 rocket motor. So
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Cover your ears. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. So there are
Some definite downsides to this.
some design flaws. Okay, some things succeeded, some things clearly succeeded. Alright, so apparently the expo marker, the dry erase marker, was good at making a really fancy shower of sparks and fire. Didn't produce a whole lot of actual thrust, though.
Almost a little disappointing, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, especially with how much of those I've been collecting. So we're gonna clean up and reload.
Let's do the home.
3, 2, 1.
Smoke. I can't see anything. It's smoke. And it's on fire.
And it's on fire.
So first of all, we did successfully make rocket motors today, to some degree. The rocket boat had some marginal success. I think we can stop being afraid of it becoming airborne. I don't think that's going to be a risk, so we can probably get rid of the string in the future if we try to go this route again. But the main reason that we had it was to test the rockets, which I think was a successful test.
It was. We had some thrust, not as much as we thought. Definitely not as much as the stock rockets, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
So we got some issues we need to work out.
I'm going to do some research on nozzles, how to make nozzles for homemade rockets, and come back to this probably with a new boat.
Definitely with a new boat. This thing is, it's crispy.